Hello, my name is David Webb and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I have the W and the U, which is a bad combination. And I've also got the K, which is not a particularly bingo-y tile. Now, I could play New, K-N-E-W. That would leave R-U-S, which isn't great, but it does split up the W and U combination. I don't think I can play the W and the U, apart from wuss, but I don't wish to play off my S for just a small number of points. So is there something better than new? S-U-R isn't a terrible leave, there's a degree of synergy with those letters. And new is also slightly blocky in that it doesn't take any hooks. And that's pretty good. I have Avours, which does go at the moment at I4, but I expect that spot will go. Through an R I would have savourer and a D savoured. I'm just wondering if I have any 8-letter bingos through the letters in new. Waverous is good. So that's the W. I can't see anything through the K. And ravenous. And I don't think ravenous has got any anagrams. So I have ravenous and waverous. And I have Avours, which may be playable as a 7. Right, Oik is played. I don't have a tile to go in front of that. I can play Avours at G9. But that would place the S at G15 just in front of the triple word score. Ravenous is blocked, so I'm left with a choice between Waverous and Avours. Quite tricky. 66 points for Waverous. 68 for Avours. I'm going to go with Waverous, there's not much in it. Oik takes an H in front and I have drawn an H. I don't have a bingo, but I should be able to score well. I could play far, F-A-H, at E4 for 29 points. I'm expecting my opponent to play in row O, so I'm not going to spend a great deal of time considering plays there. It won't be hard to think of some. So I've got far for 29 and that would leave D-E-N-P, which has a degree of synergy. I am, well, about 80 points ahead. But my opponent's on turn, so that's going to come down. Now I do have a double-double opening in row K through the E of Waverus. So I may have a play through that, but I can't see one immediately. Yeah, that takes out that spot. I do have letters which can go on the triple letter square at N6. But my priority is to sort my rack out. I would like to get another bingo to extend my lead. So this is what I'm thinking about playing. And that's 29 points. Oik doesn't take anything else in front of it. I certainly want to play off the F. The P is not too bad, and certainly, as it's the only high-scoring tile, then it's fine to have it as part of my leave. I've got hand as a prefix or suffix. That leaves FEP. So I can't see anything else. And that looks good. I've got deplane and panelled, which I think is good. Not sure if either of them go. New was quite an effective blocking play. Can't see anything through the F. The F and the P are not good letters, so I've got the O of Hoik. Can't see anything through that. I've got the E of new coming down from A8. And I can't see a bingo with 3 E's. So now I have the floaters in Waverus. Can't see anything through the V or the A. I've already considered the E. Now the R looks promising, but do I have something? I can't see anything through the R, but there may be. Wow, this is slightly irksome. It's a very promising set of tiles. And I think this... Wow, Capriole, does it take a D? Does Capriole take a D? Should I try panelled? This is a tricky spot. The C is also available for a bingo with C in penultimate position. Now if I play panelled, it's pretty risky, as I have doubts about both words. Let's see what this scores. 86 points, that's a really big score, if it's good. Is it good? Well, let's find out. I haven't drawn a great set of tiles. So if this comes off, I won't have the sadness of saying goodbye to a blank or another bingo. And if it stays on, I have the X as a scoring tile. So I have calyx at H11, C-A-L-Y-X. I'm just waiting for this to come off, and it hasn't, so that's great. But my opponent comes back with a score of 45, so my lead is 50 points. What can I do? I'm a long way from a bingo, so I'd like to get back into bingo territory as quickly as possible. Yunks would be good through an N, but there isn't an available N. I could play ducks at H13, but only 24 points. I certainly do want to play off the X and the U. If I played off just zoo, I'd be keeping 5 consonants, and that's not good. Lux is good. I can't see a way of playing off the C. It would be nice to play off the Y as well. Zist is good, which would be using my S, which I would do if I could score enough. I could play flux at E4, but that doesn't score very much. Wow, this is quite a challenging rack. Now, Xylic and... what about Xylic? Let's see what this scores. Doesn't play off the U, but STU is not a bad leave. 25 points is quite good, and that's getting rid of several problematic tiles and also resolving the vowel consonant imbalance. There is an anagram of Xylic, it's Kylix, and actually that would be better. It would stop my opponent, or make it harder for my opponent to score off the X. And STU's not bad, and this obstructs my opponent's use of the S at H15. And I can't see anything better. And I draw the blank, which is great, but I have 3 T's. So I may not have a bingo, and if I do have a bingo, it's likely to be low probability. I've got the out prefix, but if I did use that, I would likely need to use my blank as a vowel. And I can't see anything beginning out. But this looks promising. It looks quite a nice set of letters, and the blank gives you added flexibility, so there may be something here. Auto test is good if I had a floating A or E available, and there isn't such a... auto test I think has an anagram. I think it's outstate. And I do have the letters for this. Great. Outstate 74. Well, I'm glad I didn't miss that. I suspect there are other spots on the board, but I don't think anything's going to score more unless it goes in row K through the E and the L, and that would be quite a difficult word to spot. I draw the second blank, but I have two U's and a V, so I am not going to be bingoing straight away, I don't think. The O of outstate is quite useful for both the out and over prefix. So, assuming I don't have a bingo, I'm looking to play off ideally both U's and the V, but realistically one of the U's and a V. And even that may be quite hard. And what's going to add to the difficulty is trying to score well. So what is available on the board? I have a 125-point lead. I could play Erva at J5 down, only 14 points, but that quite nicely resolves some of the difficulties with the rack. And it's not blocked. Is there anything else? I don't wish to play my blank off because I'm not going to score enough. And if I am going to play the V and the U, I think I'm going to need a vowel on the board. There is the E of waverous. There too is good, but that E is in the wrong place. So is Erva best? With the blank I certainly want to resolve the rack as quickly as possible, so I don't mind taking a low score. Just checking to see if the same play is available elsewhere, and I don't think it is. Well, I draw no further vowel, so the U, which was a blight on my previous rack, is now a tile I'm glad to have. I could play Dezo in row A. Okay, that's a good bonus for my opponent. He is now only 50 points behind. And there are very few bingo lanes. Well, I say that, but in fact that's not true. There's row A, column 2 and column 15. But I am ahead, and I would like to play off my Z. Dezo, 17 points, leaving but blank. Can I do better than that? I've got just under 8 minutes left and there are 21 tiles in the bag. Now, the C of Kylix takes an H after it, so, and I've got the H. In fact, I've got the last H. Wow, I could play nudge using my blank. Let's see what this scores. This is going to score a lot. $88 points. That's splendid. I don't think there's going to be a better play available, and I'm quite happy to play off my blank for that score. And I have a balanced rack, but I don't have a bingo. But I'm 100 and 40 points ahead. Whitgat is good. That's only a 6-letter word. There are 16 tiles left in the bag and 7 on my opponent's rack, so there's still a little way to go. I'll be looking to score with this rack. I could play Whitgat at B1 for 28 points, which would obstruct the O of outstate as a floater. My opponent is going to need to bingo to catch me. And the 3... Okay, that's... my opponent has played Muet, so he's taken out the row A bingo lane himself. Ma takes an A in front, so I could play a 6-letter word ending in A if I had one, and I don't. I'm looking at row C. F takes a T in front, so I could play Git, but that's not great. 23 points. I'd rather play off the W, I think, if that's possible. I'm just looking in column 13 to see if I can take advantage of the of nicks. I could play DIT, but then I'm keeping B, G and W. Now while I no longer wish to get rid of my high scoring tiles because I don't need a bingo and the game is drawing to a close, and the high scoring tiles can be used for score, I don't wish to keep a dispreponderant number of them, and I know that's not a word. So what can I do? It would be nice to play twig somewhere. But I can't see anywhere for that. I'm looking at the O of anterior to see if I can play through that. Wow, this is quite tough. There are 9 vowels left. Well, I could play twig down here. It's not particularly dangerous placing the G at E2. And BAIT is quite a balanced leave. I suspect this is not optimal, but I'm struggling to see opportunities on the board. And I do have the A to go in front of the G to make ag, so that gives me another option for scoring on this go. So I'm looking at the top left corner. I could play what or twit. I could play twit or twat. Let's see what twit scores. I'll keep the A for the ag hook. Twit scores 26 points. It keeps the A. There's 5 vowels out of 14 tiles, so my vowel preponderance doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that's okay. Well, I now have a lot of vowels. My opponent is probably quite close to a bingo, but he's too far behind to catch me, and I think the only bingo lane is column 1, where he's just played. Let me check that. I think it's good. Yep, that's fine. So a good spot by my opponent. He is 60 points behind, and he has 4 consonants on his rack, F, L, N, R. So he's not going out. Next go. So I need to go out in 2. If I can. So I could play boob at K14 for 20 points. That would leave me with A, E, O, and I could then play arrow in 2 separate spots, so it would guarantee me an out. Do I have something better? Well, I've only got 2 minutes left and the game is won. So I'm not going to over-agonise about this. Boob doesn't open up anything for my opponent, and there's nothing obvious. Well, I say there's no obvious move for my opponent, but maybe there is. Maybe A12 down through the O of anterior is helpful for him. He could play floor in that spot for 22 points. Well, I'm not sure I can block that and guarantee going out in 2. So I have arrow at K3 and I have it at A13. Yep. So, do I have anywhere else to play these tiles? I have just over a minute, so I'm just going to quickly look around the board and see what there is. These 3 vowels go with L to make Olia, they go with N to make several words. Well, I can score a little bit more by playing Toa across here. May not be best, but the game is won. So I'm just waiting for my opponent to formally end the game, which he does. And the final score is 407 to my opponent and 471 to me, so a winning margin of 64 points, and that was quite a comfortable win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go fast, and Ner is the only alternative being suggested to New or Ners, but I think New is the better play. Avowers and Waverus, yeah, still can't really distinguish between them. Up hand for 36 at N9. Oh, I see, going on to the U of Waverus, that would have been pretty good, and Daphne was available for 35 at E3. Yeah, that's on my rack, again utilising the oik to hoik hook, but I think far is fine. Panelled was the only bingo here, so I'm delighted to have found that. Kylix and Xylic for 25, nothing obviously better. Outstate, yep, playable in 2 spots. This was the better spot. There too, now I thought of that word, where does it go? L11. Ah, making yeeve, that's why I didn't spot it. Yeah, that would have been That would have been slightly better than Erva, not hugely better. Nudge for 88, and Shih Tzu was available at B2. Oh, I see, coming down column 2 through the eye of idea. Well, Nudge was best, but I hadn't spotted Shih Tzu. And Blitz was also available in the same spot for 70, so many high-scoring plays available with this unpromising rack. Twitch E10. Onto the C8. Yeah, that would have been quite nice. 28 points. What did I play? Well, Twig was not great for only 16. And it gave my opponent the bingo lane, so that wasn't a great move. Biatch would have been good in the same spot as Twitch. And Twat and Twit are also fine. That was a great bingo by my opponent. Well, you can see the options being suggested there, but very few of those allow you to go out in 2, so they can be discounted. And finally, Toa was the highest scoring play, so I'm glad to have spotted that. Well, that was an interesting game. I hope you enjoyed watching it. It was high scoring. There were lots of bingos in it and some nice words as well. And there were also some challenging spots, and I think there were a couple of moves there where I didn't play the best move, and the main one which stands out is Twig, which enabled my opponent to play Agings. It didn't cost me the game, but it did cost me a lot of points of spread, which would be or could be significant in a tournament. So anyway, I hope you found that game interesting and enjoyed watching it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.